It is my pleasure to welcome you to the crash course Quantitative Research Papers. This part is about the first section of a quantitative research paper. It is about the introduction. It will be a very short video because the introduction itself is rather short and there's not too much to say, at least in comparison to the following sections. What is the introduction all about? The purpose of the introduction is that the reader knows what to expect from your paper. So the reader should get an overview what your paper is all about and what he or she can expect from the following sections. Against this backdrop, you should briefly introduce your research topic, state your central objectives, your research objectives. In other words, this is corresponding with your central research questions. And then you should give an overview of the following sections. Here is an example. That is from a project I had the honor to co-author with two colleagues. It is about the relationship between organization commitment, commitment to supervisor, and servant leadership. The introduction into the topic, organizational commitment, commitment to supervisor, and servant leadership, gain popularity and relevance in both the managerial practice and academia. That is the introduction into what this whole thing is about. Now comes the research objectives. Our research aims to empirically establish the relationship between the facets of these constructs. More precisely, we examine which effect the facets of servant leadership have on the facets of commitment to supervisor, and which effect the facets of commitment to supervisor have on the facets of organizational commitment. That is the objective of our research. And then it goes on with what follows this introduction. My style of writing is very concise, very much to the point, very condensed. That is an individual thing. So you do not need to be as brief as I was here. And most likely, if you're writing a bachelor, master, or doctoral thesis, you probably have to go a bit more into detail. However, I hope this example could give you a bit more than an idea what to put into an introduction and what the purpose of an introduction is. Finally, let me give you one recommendation for research practice. Do not write a research paper like a layman thinks a novel is written. So you just start and the characters will develop somehow. Don't do this. Have a very structured approach, and the introduction should be written at the end of the research project, not at the start. You will have to look at the start, you will have to look at theory, research questions, and methodology, the methods. This is where you start, not with the introduction. Write the introduction at the end. And that was it for the introduction. The next lecture, a bit more extensive, will be about the second section of a quantitative research paper, the theory and state of research section. Until then, I wish you all the best, and it is bye-bye for now.